Welcome back, Kiwi Yoinkers and all other folk to Sunsaw Gaming. Now, yesterday while I was in a pub match on the NA server, I ran into a guy called I'm Not Andrew, and he was voicing his disappointment about this tank, the AMX 5100. And fair enough too, it's a difficult tank. It's got a very large hull, as you'll see here. I'll compare it to the Action X, and because everyone knows the Action X has a giant hull, and the size of these two tanks is very, very similar, but the 5100 doesn't have the armor profile. So you've got 90 on your front hull armor, and on your sides and rear you've only got 30. So people are going to look to HE this tank. I mean, it's got a very nice view range at 288 for a heavy, which isn't too bad. It's not too bad at all. But it's got a very good concealment value of 33 while stationary, which is decent. It's not the greatest, but it's decent for the size of this thing. Now, its damage per minute 2,163, and its magazine reload time of 19.8, with 3 shells in the magazine. Now, your average penetration that you're looking at is 232 for your AP and 263 for your APCR, which is more than enough to go through most tanks. And you won't have to worry about aiming too much. Now, it does do 310 average damage with its AP and 260 average damage with the armor piercing. Now, that makes a total clip shell of 930 for your AP and 780 for your APCR. And those are two values that is good to keep note of, because they're going to save your life at the end of battles. Now, this is where the thing gets good. It's top speed. It has 45 top speed and an average speed of 33. Which is very, very good for a heavy. This is a very mobile tank. It doesn't lose too much speed while turning, and it does have a very good hull turn rate. I mean, this thing is better played as a medium than a heavy. But I mean, it's a medium with a heavy hit point pool, which is great. As you can see, its terrain resistances are very good as well, especially for a heavy tank. And these are the things that make this tank such a good tank. Now we're just going to go over some of what I use for the consumables. We've got the multi-purpose, the engine power boost, and of course the second repair kit. We've got the coffee and the croissant. We do go with the protective kit, and we also have the canned pate. All those things bring your reload time down. Now, these are the shell loadouts I work with. Personal preference, choose what you will. And these are what I run for equipment. Now, I do run the improved ventilation over the calibrated shells, even though the calibrated shells bring you up a lot compared to other tanks. I do like having that magazine reload time dropped down below 20 seconds. So I do run the vents. Again, this is all personal preference. You can choose what you want. But I mean, I do run the vents. I like having all of those little extra things on this tank. Most autoloaders and stuff I will run calibrated, but not this one. So we run the enhanced gun lane drive and the refined gun here. I do like having that dispersion factor lower, because this tank you do sometimes find yourself having to fire on the move. Now, I do run the defense system. That's just because of the 7% to the chance of ammo rack explosion. Because people like to fire HE at your tank, if you're not aware and someone gets on your side, that can be a lifesaver. Now, I run the hit points because, personally, more armor on this thing, it's not going to do scratch all. The enhanced tracks, the improved optics, your engine accelerator, and the consumable delivery system. Again, totally up to you and your choices, but that's just what I run. Now, we're going to jump straight into a match here with the AMX 5100 and just show you more about the play style of this tank. And with that, we're just going to jump straight into it. So, here in my first match here, I'm on Vineyards. It's an encounter battle, and I am platooned up with my clanmate and good friend, Manic. Now, this tank is basically a medium tank. So, almost every time I run this tank, I will always go to the medium side of the map first. It's where I always start my matches, because if you can put 3 shells into any medium on a medium side of the map, it can do a lot of things to help your medium tanks on your team. And that's the thing about this. It is a very team-dependent tank. Just because of its reload time, you do have to rely on your team and how they do. So if you can help them out, early on in the match, it's going to do good for you. Now, I haven't gone to the medium side in this one, just because of where people are and what's going on and the team lineups. I have pulled over here, and I'm going to take a blind shot just to see if I can hit one of those tanks. Slightly too early, but I would have almost got that guy. Now, I do manage to get a shot there into the Tiger P, and there's no point in holding that last shell, so I'm going to go for a full reload. And these are the things that you should be doing. Now, I do have Mannix sit in front there, and you need tanks to be able to sit at the front and take damage for you, because you're not going to block shells. Now, luckily that IS does fluff his shot and hits the dirt, but we've got a very aggressive IS-3. So I'm just going to use this ridge line here, keep myself safe, and just put all 3 of my shells into this guy. Hopefully that's enough to save my teammate's life. I do hit the guy's ammo rack, and it probably does save him, but again, there's a Tiger P that is pushed in very aggressively as well now. So I'm just going to make sure that this AT-7 doesn't have shots on me while I'm reloading, and I'm going to pull up and try and help my teammate once again by putting these shots into the Tiger P. And this is how you can use this tank, just a very, very basic support role. Now, once I fire the shot here, there's no need for me to stay around in this area anymore. There's only one heavy over there, and I've got tanks pushing on the back of me, so I'm going to go for a full reload, which I probably could fight that last shell off. It's dangerous. Going for those full reloads, you've got to pick your moments. Now, it wasn't too bad that I went for a full reload there, but I could have done some damage with that last shell and reloaded it. But by not doing that, I have not made myself a target. I've run away, and I'm just going to come in behind these mediums now. I can work out this medium side of the map because they've pushed into the centre. And that's what this tank does very well. You send your clip out, you get all 3 shots off, and then you relocate, you move, you reposition. Now again, I went for a full reload because I knew my teammate was coming up behind me there, and if he gets that one shot that he got into the Panther, now I can almost fully clip this guy out. Unfortunately, I don't have to. Somebody else did hit him. Now, I'm not going to go for the full reload here because I want to try and reset this base capture. We're going to plug a shot into the side of the T-28 prototype. Turns out he's not the one sitting on base. So I'm actually, there's only 3 versus 1. I know one of them, the heavy tank, is in town, and these guys are low. So I'm just going to push in, and I'm going to get a shot into the back of this AT-8. Well, I won't be resetting the cap because my teammate Mark has just done that for us. But I will put my last shell into that AT-7. Now I've got all 3 of these tanks' attention, and that's what I mean. This tank is like a medium tank, but with the heavy hit points. I've just turned all 3 of those tanks around safely because I've saved my hit points, and I've managed to use the speed of this thing just to create chaos. Now they turned around and looked at me, and my teammates pushed over that ridge and absolutely wiped them out. And that's just a few of the key things that you can do with this tank. So, dump that clip and reposition every single chance you get. I mean, I pulled 3,100 damage there with 3 kills, which is not a bad game. We are going to hop into another match here, and we're going to be following another guy playing the AMX 5100, and he plays it absolutely superbly, and you're going to see everything you need to do done right in this match. So that was my attempt. Now we have Atakan, and he's on Yukon here, and he is just going to play this tank absolutely superbly, and it's going to show. He knows exactly what he's doing with this tank, and this is pretty much, I couldn't have gotten a better replay to show just how this tank is played. And of all maps, Yukon is probably one of the better maps for this tank. I mean, the AMX 5100 will struggle on smaller maps like Himmelsdorf. You know, it doesn't have the area or the movement room that this tank needs to be truly effective. But saving your hit points is a big thing. As you can see, Atakan there, he pulled forward, he took that early shot, and he's already put his full reload on. He didn't hang around to get shot. He just wanted to take the nice easy damage and not trade hit points, which is what he should have done. Now, watch what happens to the Emil and the Ferdinand. They pull out, they're using their armor, they're doing the correct thing by trying to get shots onto the enemy here, but they're going to get absolutely punished for it. Like, you can see these tracer shells just coming through. They're getting hit. Now, Atakan's being very patient, and you do need to do that in this tank. You need to wait and exploit opportunities. Now, you can see this enemy AMX 5100 pushing in. That is exactly what you do not do in this tank. If you do that, you're going to die just like this guy did. Like, Atakan puts all 3 shells into him, finishes him off. Well, the Emil gets the kill shot there actually, but it was very, very good. Now he gets lucky, that shot just missed him. He is on a full reload, and as you notice, he's on a full reload, he's turned himself around, and he's repositioning. And that's what you need to do in this tank. Every time you reposition, you're going to catch the enemy off guard. And you're reloading those 3 shells while you're repositioning. By the time you pull up into positions like this, you're ready again to dump that 960 damage worth of value, unless you bounce like that. Unfortunately, he does bounce 2 off the IS-3 Defender, but he does get his 3rd shell in there, and that's what counts. Now, he's able to get a full clip reload on. The IS-3 Defender is not worried about him at all. Base capture's going up. He wants to get in there, and he wants to reset that base cap. Atakan knows that. He also knows that the IS-3 Defender is isolated and by himself, so he's going to push in here, he's going to help his teammate out. He's got those 3 shells back by the time he's relocated and repositioned. Now, good job to that IS-3 Defender, he does get the base reset there, which was very much needed for his team. And as you can see, that was an HE round by the AMX. Sets you on fire. It's something that happens very easily. But, I mean, it's one of the downsides to the tank, which is why you don't want to be getting shot. Now, it is a 4 versus 3, soon going to be a 3 versus 3, if I remember the hit points correctly on his 2 teammates out in the field. But he puts in a very nice round through in front of that guy, finishes him off, and again goes for the full reload. Now, while he's going for that full reload, he's looking where he can reposition to. He's looking for his best plan of attack here. Now he sees the Emil 1 on the back here, and he knows that he's fighting one of his allied tanks, so he's just going to flick around behind him with his 3 shells and try and get some damage into him. Now, hopefully he can save his teammate here in the Emil 1. He does get 1 shot off there into the enemy Emil 1, only damaging his viewport, but that was a very unlucky shot. It just went slightly too high for what it should have. But again, he's taken that 1 shot, he hasn't pushed after the guy. He hasn't put himself out in the open. Instead, he's gone for the full reload, and he's just going to reposition once again. He knows that this AMX-45 is not going to be moving, so he's going to use him as bait. And that's exactly what this tank does very well. If you can use your team to bait enemy tanks into your 3 shells while keeping yourself safe and keeping your hit points, this tank is going to do wonders for your team. Now, by no means is this a game where he could win. I mean, this match could still go either way. But he's got this 152 who has pushed up by himself, and he's gone for the bait. He gets the 2 shells into him, gets the reload on, his teammate finishes him off. Absolutely perfect play. He knew he wasn't going to get that 3rd shot into him, so he did start getting that reload on early, and those are the sort of preemptive things you need to do in this tank, especially when you're running, you know, a 19.8 or more reload time. So preempt when you need a reload and get that full shell reload on. Repositioning, once again, he's gone around the side. The Emil 1 is most likely going to finish off the AMX M445, but if the M445 even gets 1 shot into that Emil, then Atakan here in the 5100 will be able to full clip that Emil right out of the game. So the longer a match goes on, the more dangerous this tank becomes, because that clip then becomes a deadly clip as opposed to a damaging clip. So save your hit points, use them wisely, very wisely. Stay out of the line of fire of the enemy tanks, use the hit points from your friendly tanks teams, and go for the track shots like that where it is necessary. That's an absolutely awesome game. Thank you for that replay there, Atakan. Much appreciated, and definitely shows exactly how you're supposed to play this tank. Now he gets 4,242 damage, pulls a nice 38,000 credits, and 2 kills, and he also gets the mastery. So I hope this helps anybody who is looking to drive the AMX 5100. If you like my content, do subscribe to the channel. Join my Discord if you want to send in your videos to me. Until next time, guys, stay safe. Use cover. Cheers.